The Greens are back on the road this afternoon, looking to right the wrongs from Charlton on Tuesday night.
We all knew that the performance wasn't good enough in large parts on Tuesday night away at Charlton. We spoke about it, we've gone over what we felt we could have done better. We want to see that reaction. They're a good group and we highlight and we review the game. But it's important that we try and get some sort of level of consistency as well in our performances, because from being excellent at Barnsley to not being so great at Fleetwood to then being excellent against Peterborough to being average against Charlton at best, it's not really good enough. On Saturday it's up to the lads now and us, the coaching staff, to put in a real performance and try and get them 3 points.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Argyle TV and our build-up for this afternoon's game between Forest Green Rovers and Plymouth Argyle. The Greens up in Gloucestershire, as I said, looking to right the wrongs of Tuesday night's defeat in the capital against Charlton Athletic. It's only the second ever meeting between these two sides. The last time, back in the 2019-2020 season, saw Argyle come out on top thanks to an Anthony Sarcevic goal. And we'll be hoping for something similar again this afternoon, that is for sure. Well, guiding us through the next hour or so here on Argyle TV is the former Argyle defender Brian McGlinchey, who joins us now. And Brian, a perfect opportunity just a few days on for the Greens to bounce back, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, of course, we want to hear from you. We want you to get involved with your thoughts on what the game is going to be like. You can do it in a variety of ways. You can comment on our YouTube page where you're probably watching this right now. You can find us on Twitter as well, at Argyle, or on Facebook, and we will get through as many as you can. Now, we've got the all-important team news coming up in a moment. We'll also have a chat with Connor Grant about today's game and see how he's recovering from his injury too. But first, let's hear from the manager, Stephen Schumacher. And he was in bolshy mood ahead of today's game as I caught up with him on Thursday lunchtime.
We all knew that the performance wasn't good enough in large parts on Tuesday night away at Charlton. So yeah, it's we spoke about it today. We've gone over what we felt we could have done better and areas we need to improve. And yeah, we want to see that reaction. I don't think the players, didn't put the work rate in. We just didn't do the basics quite well enough, and yeah, we'll be wanting to change that on Saturday.
We have seen it throughout football really, but throughout this season as well, bouncing back after a result that wasn't what we wanted. So the confidence must be there that it will happen again this weekend.
Yeah, because as I say, they're a good group and we highlight and we review the games that whenever we play them. So when there is things that are small margins that we can improve on, the players understand it and then try and do better in the next game. But it's important that we try and get some sort of level of consistency as well in our performances, because from being excellent at Barnsley to not being so great at Fleetwood to then being excellent against Peterborough to being average against Charlton at best, it's not really good enough. That's not going to sustain a top half of the league sort of team. So we want to just focus on putting in back-to-back performances if we can, but it is only early in the season. There is still circumstances which might have contributed to two poor away performances, but we'll just try and put that right on Saturday.
What are the main differences from your perspective of playing at home and playing away?
Main differences are probably, obviously, you've got your crowd behind you, which when you do something well early on in the game, it gets them up and gets them excited, and that's pretty much what Charlton did on Tuesday. The first few minutes, when the winger gets through, gets them all excited, gets the momentum for them, and makes it difficult for the opposition. So we try and utilise that as much as we can with our unbelievable support here, and other teams do the same. So when you're the away side, it's important that you start the game well, try and get a foothold in the game early to quieten the crowd down if you can, and then build from there. And we just didn't feel we give ourselves enough of a platform Tuesday to build from. And
let's look at Saturday. Forest Green didn't play on Tuesday. Their game was postponed.
Yeah.
A couple of extra days rest. Don't know whether that makes any difference for them, do you feel?
Possibly, yeah. I wasn't too pleased when I seen that they got called off and we're away at Charlton and we've got to come back in crazy hours in the morning. Obviously that does your head in a little bit, but we can't moan about it. It is what it is. We won't even mention it to the players. We'll just say, look, we've got to focus on us, do what we're good at, try and be better in our own performance. Don't worry too much about them. But yeah, they'll be a tough opposition again to play some nice stuff. Just watch them back there against Ipswich, and I'll watch them in a minute against Lincoln. So they've got good players and play a nice little system of football and a nice way of playing, and it's going to be an hard game again.
Yeah, it seems like every team we play at the minute at the start of the season has a brand new manager, and they're another one, aren't they?
As soon as I seen the fixture list come out, that was the first thing that come to my mind. Oh my God! So again, that's quite hard to plan and prepare for because it's new. They'll all be desperate to impress the new manager, so you get an extra performance early on, don't you, from a new team. So new when the fixtures come out was going to be tough, and that's what it's proved to be so far. It's been all of them have been hard games. So yeah, we're expecting nothing different on Saturday, and we just need to be better than what we were the other day. And if we get anything like our other performances that we've put in this year, we'll be all right.
Yeah. Just finally, we've sold out our allocation. We quite often talk about fans. Yeah. Sold out earlier today. So
class.
Again, superb. Over 1,000 will be up in Gloucestershire. You spoke before the Charlton game about giving them something to cheer. That's the aim again.
Thankfully they did. Thankfully we scored a goal and give them a little bit of hope for a few minutes. Thought again Tuesday night the fans could see that for large parts of the first half in particular we were in the game, like we were playing okay, playing some good stuff without having the last pass, the final product, and they could see that the effort was there. Now the sending off kills you, the third goal kills the game, and the second half performance is hanging in, but once again they stuck behind the lads, they sang all the way through. They sound like they enjoyed themselves with some of the comedy chants that they were doing, which I get, and then and yet we scored a goal for them, and then they stayed behind, the large majority of them, and clapped the players. So I was really pleased with that. Now on Saturday it's up to the lads now and us, the coaching staff, to put in a real performance and try and get them 3 points.
Fighting talk from Stephen Schumacher there, putting in a real performance, and up to him, up to this coaching staff, up to the players to come back and respond. Brian, listening to that as well, it is fighting talk from him, but he is right, isn't he? It is ultimately down to Argyle, the players, the coaching staff, to put right the wrongs that were done on Tuesday night.
Yeah, 100%. You can see he was hurt by that midweek sort of result, and he's very appreciative of what he's got done in Argyle, the fans, and what the club's all around. So yeah, he'll want to put them wrongs right. I think one of the things that I think's really good about him, he never gets too down when things don't go your way, and he never gets too upbeat when things are going well. He's a very level-headed manager, and for me, that's the right approach. And as he said, if we can get anywhere near the performances like they can play at, I'm confident the result will go their way today.
Well, let's have a look at the side that he's chosen to pick today, and it's quite an interesting one. You'll see from there 5 changes to the side that lost on Tuesday night. Brendan Galloway coming in for his first league start since that horror injury against Wycombe in November last season. Obviously, James Wilson out, suspended, so Nigel Lonvite comes in for his first start in the league for Argyle. Houghton has been replaced by Butcher. Mayer's back in for Whittaker, and the other one is up front with Niall Ennis taking the spot of Ryan Hardy. Brian, just your initial thoughts on that? He has rung the changes.
Yeah, he has, and it's not ideal to maybe disrupt your back three, but obviously one was forced, and he feels that Galloway is the right man for today, replacing Gillespie. So yeah, it's he's got good options. I haven't seen much of Lundvik, and he's obviously got good pedigree. He's come from Wolves, and yeah. But I thought Galloway was fantastic up until he got injured last season. The surprise one for me is a little bit with the Houghton one. I think Houghton's had a fantastic season last year in its early days, but obviously he's got massive sort of respect in there for Randall, and then obviously his new signing Butcher as well. So it'd be good to see how that formation, how those two sort of link up together. And I think it's right to maybe sort of change around your front man. I think Ennis on his days he's really difficult to deal with. Obviously he'll have a different sort of dynamic to Hardy. Hardy likes to run channels, where Ennis sort of likes the ball to his feet and bring players into games. So that might work well with maybe Mayer and Azaz coming up to the play, and maybe him bringing them into the game higher up the pitch. So that might work. But yeah, it's good options.
Oh yeah, I want to talk to you about what you just said about Adam Randall and Matt Butcher partnering each other with Houghton missing out. If you go back to last season, we saw when Randall came in just how kind of good he was and how ready he was really for this step up. But he had a player like Jordan Houghton in front of him, didn't he? He was one of the leaders really in that position in the league. And it is interesting now to see that Adam Randall has maybe forced his way in, because he's the only one of that midfield two that has started every game this season.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's, Randall's sort of bided his time in a sense. He went to Torquay and got a bit of experience there, and then he's obviously played different parts of last season. I remember his performance away at Sheffield Wednesday, I think it was, where he scored that free kick, and he's got really good pedigree, really confident on the ball. So yeah, it's massive compliment to him that he's the one that's getting the name on the shirt, or getting the shirt at the start of the season. So I guess like any football player, you just got to be wary of someone looking to take your shirt. So he's got to put in a performance today. But yeah, massive compliments. And Schumacher was a centre midfielder himself, wasn't he? So he'll know what that job's all about. So so he's got the perfect manager to sort of help him and get his career up and running.
Do you have any concerns at all? I mean, it's great seeing him back. Any concerns at all about Brendan Galloway being put back in? You mentioned he started in the cup game. He's made a couple of sub appearances. He has had a pre-season pretty much. Coming back in for a league game after such a long time out.
Well, you've got to start somewhere, and you've got to play your first game at some stage. So, but I guess he's a tremendous player. To be honest, he's got. I think he was one of our best players last season until he got injured, and he's had obviously it's not his first full start as he started the league game, as you say. So, I feel that the manager obviously believes he's probably seen the right things in training, and also don't forget it's been, it's a horrendous journey they've had. That did they get home from London till maybe 4 or 5 in the morning? So, it's tough. You struggle to get to sleep, so you will have a bit of jet lag. You will. So he's obviously bringing the changes as well because of that. So you've got to use your squad. So I don't think it'll be a major problem.
Well, let's have a look at the Forest Green side that's been selected for this one. We mentioned the changes that Stephen Schumacher has rung, 5 in total. And Ian Birchnell, his opposite number. Of course, Forest Green didn't play on Tuesday night. They had their game against Accrington postponed. But they've gone for just one change, and it's in the midfield positions where the experienced David Davis comes in for Armani Little. So they play a similar sort of formation to Argyle. They've decided against Brian, chucking in Connor Wickham, who came in and scored on his debut against Lincoln a week ago. And Jamil Matt, their captain, former Argyle player as well, started the first couple of games. He is on the bench as well. Interesting that really, isn't it, with those two big goal-scoring strikers on the bench?
Yeah, it's good options for them to maybe change the game. If the game's getting away from them, they've got options to try and resurrect the game by bringing those two players on. Obviously, Wickham's got fantastic pedigree, playing at a really high level, and we know all about Jamil Matt. He's very good in the air, isn't he? And he scored a lot of goals last season. So yeah, they've got good options. And to be fair, they've had a decent start, haven't they? They've won one, drawn one, and then obviously they've lost one as well. So So they've had a decent start from coming up from the league below. But similar formation to Argyle. So I hope we'll sort of, in a sense, we probably have better players than them. So it's up to our players to actually win their individual battles and take control of the game, do all the right things, and then obviously their quality hopefully will come through, and they can sort of capitalise that and get a good result.
Well, let's try and head over to Nailsworth, to the Bolt new lawn up in Gloucestershire, and hopefully there we'll find Rob McNichol. Hello, Rob. Afternoon. We mentioned that the game on Tuesday against Accrington was postponed because of a waterlogged pitch. How is the pitch looking?
I can't hear you.
Always great, isn't it, with stuff like that, isn't it? We'll try and get back to Rob as quickly as we can. In the meantime, though, we've got more than an adequate substitute. We've got Connor Grant, Argyle's Connor Grant, to come and join us. Hopefully, you can hear us. Looking
Hello,
well,
fellas.
Connor. Nice to have you with us.
Can you hear me?
Let's talk about the game. We said that Forest Green, they haven't played on. Does that have an impact at this stage of the season for you?
I think this early on, probably not so much. I think if you're talking later on in the season, I think that might be that come into play a little bit more. But I think at the minute, while the lads are fresh, everyone's fresh in the league, so I don't think that'll make too much of a difference. I think in terms of preparation, it can make a little bit. They maybe get a couple of more days to prepare, but in terms of freshness and fitness, I don't think it'll make too much difference.
How keen do you reckon the lads are after Tuesday night to really put in a performance this afternoon?
Yeah, of course. I think the lads are hurting from Tuesday night. Actually, I watched the game and I think going 1-0 behind, I thought we actually responded really well. Then you've got the incident with the penalty, and harsh to see Willow get sent off, in my opinion, and it sort of took the game away from us a little bit. And then before half time, you get hit with a worldie. So it was just a difficult night all round, but I'm sure everyone will be really excited to put on a performance and put that right, and I'm sure we can do that.
Yeah, Sean Clare taking a leaf out of your book with a strike like that. Wrong foot, obviously, but it was a Connor Grant special. Just listening to the manager as well, the gaffer, he was saying about how he is he was sort of like nailing down and saying, well, it's down to us, it's down to the players, it's down to the coaching staff to put in that reaction. And obviously, you're the only ones that really can do it, being out on the pitch. But he definitely has that way about him, doesn't he? Where he likes players to take responsibility and puts the onus on you guys. How good is that he is, and the rest of the coaches do trust you guys to go out and kind of work out problems by yourselves?
Yeah, I think so. I think working out the problems by ourselves, I think they find a lot of solutions for us. So they give us a lot going into the games where we know what we're basically going to face. So it's up to us to, obviously things can change in a game, but the way they set us up with the game plans and what we're trying to do, I think we all pretty much know our roles. So it is up to us on the pitch to deliver. And listen, Tuesday night, them games can happen, and I'm sure the lads will take responsibility tonight. And we've got a great group, probably the best group I've worked with. So it's literally about forgetting Tuesday. You don't want to dwell on it too much and trying to bounce back today.
Yeah, what do you make of the side? Obviously, we know the strength of the squad, Connor, is great, and being able to take out someone like Ryan Hardy and put in Niall Ennis is shows that sort of strength. Do you like the look of the way we've gone today?
Yeah, I do, to be fair, and obviously Niall will want to come in and put a performance in, and likewise Ryan will be disappointed to be out the team. So that's the way it always is, and I know that's what the manager and everyone will want, competition for places. And as you see with the defeat on Tuesday, there's usually a couple of changes, so I can understand it, and I'm sure everyone in the 11 will want to put in a performance, and everyone on the bench will be looking to come on and try and make an impact, as is every game, really.
I know you're a big mate of his. How good is it to see Brendan back in the starting lineup again?
Yeah, it is brilliant, and obviously it's an unbelievably long road to recovery, and he's had a couple of bumps in the road, but he's always kept his head. He's always came in every day, give it his all, and with his rehab, and then getting back to training, and it's been class. And I thought, I watched the game on Tuesday, and I thought when he came on, he looked really good, looked really sharp, and I think that'll do him the world of good for confidence, because when you're out with such a long-term injury like that, it's all about confidence in the body to go and do the things that he was doing before that. So, no, really good to see.
It's almost like a kind of fresh signing, isn't it? Because he was so good before the injury last year. You were playing alongside him, obviously, on that left-hand side. Just talk to me about what he does bring, that quality that he brings.
Yeah, well, I think defensively, I think he's a natural defender. He loves it, and his 1v1 duels are brilliant. He enjoys that side of the game really well, and then with the ball, he likes to get on the ball, make passes, and join in. So I think we're lucky that we've had the two players in Brendan and Macaulay who have been fantastic in that position, really. And Macaulay stepped in last year and was great, and then obviously this year again. So it's great that we've got two players of that quality in that position.
Let's talk about you a bit, Connor. How are you doing? How is the injury coming?
I'm up and down at the minute. To be fair, I've had a little bit of setbacks within the rehab, which hasn't been ideal. Obviously frustrating, and would have liked to have been back by now. But I'm back on the road to getting back and building up again. So I've actually just been doing some more rehab work this morning. So I'm obviously chomping at the bit to get back. Just gotta be a little bit patient with it and make sure I'm right to get back. But obviously frustrated to not be involved.
Yeah, always the way, isn't it? And interesting what you were saying about Brendan when he was coming back and having that sort of confidence. I suppose for you as well, it's knowing that it might be frustrating now, but in a couple of weeks or whenever it is when you are back, it probably would have been worth that little bit longer wait, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely, and it's all about putting in the hard work now, and hopefully that can pay dividends in a few weeks, whatever time, when I'm actually allowed to be back on the pitch and get back involved. So I'm really looking forward to that, but just got to keep focused and stay patient with it.
Well, we're all looking forward to having you back. Edward Watts has just got in touch and he said, Connor, looking good, mate. Hope to see you back soon. So lots of people on your side. Just a final one on today. I'm not going to push you for a score prediction because they're always nonsense and they never come out right. But how confident are you that it will go our way today?
Obviously, I'm biased. I'm always confident in the lads. So yeah, no, I'm hoping the lads can put on a good display and bounce back on Tuesday. I think you've got to put that in the past and look to focus on today's game. I know I was waiting to see what the pitch was going to be like with Rob then. So I was trying to see.
Well, I know. I mean, he chickened out on us.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not too boggy and we can play our stuff. But I'm sure the lads will be looking to put in a good performance, and I'm confident we can get the win.
Top stuff, Connor. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sparing the time. Best luck with the rest of the recovery. See you soon. Hopefully.
Very much. See you soon. Definitely.
Connor Grant there. What a legend. Back on the road to recovery. Brian, I don't know whether you kind of have gone through injury problems or whatever, but interesting what Connor was saying about, just having the confidence back in yourself again in your body. And, Brendan might be in that period at the moment. First challenge sort of thing back in the game.
Yeah, I think with the injury he had was a knee injury, wasn't it? So they're difficult when you go into tackles. You just want to hopefully your knee can withstand it and not have no concerns. So yeah, it's probably that psychological thing when you go in for tackles. You just got to try and make sure you go in with you go in with not holding back. Because sometimes when you hold back, you can get injured that way. So you just got to try and relax, play his normal game. And as Conor Grant said, I think he was superb. Both Grant and they combined really well down that left hand side, didn't they? I think he's obviously with Mimba there now. He's got another good option down the left hand side as well. So yeah, it's good to have him back.
Now I know Connor's still listening because I can see him on the stream. So we're going to do a bit of pump up for him here. Here he is. Look at him. Just we were talking about the strength and depth in the squad, and you can rotate Niall Ennis in and out, or you can play Matt Butcher and Jordan Houghton or Adam Randall or Morgan Whittaker instead of Mayer. But just looking at the likes of Connor, who's still to come back, that is exciting, isn't it? I mean, knowing that there are players like Connor and Mikel Miller, who's currently out, and James Bolton that could easily just be playing in this first team.
Yeah, massively. I think the managers obviously wants massive competition for places. and that's important because that gives you that extra 10-15%. Because if someone's coming back or someone's looking to take your shirt, it's you've got to go in and do the business. And I think that's what Schumacher's is pretty fair, isn't he? If you do well, you keep the shirt, and like he's done with Randall, for the start of the season. So yeah, it's massive competition for places. He's obviously strengthened in the wing back position. That's added more, obviously, competition in those areas, but up front as well, massive competition for places up there. And also, like, well, obviously Connor can play in different sort of positions as well. He can play in the middle of the park. So I say he's got good versatility across his players as well. So it all bodes well. And as Connor said, this is the best group he's played in. So again, that's sort of testament to what we're building here at Argyle as well.
Thanks, Brian, for the time being. Well, let's hear from one of those reinforcements at wing-back. Barley Mumba has come in on loan from Norwich. He has been he's been a mainstay on that left-hand side so far this season. And I spoke to him on Thursday. And like Stephen Schumacher, he was feeling confident that the guys can bounce back.
So obviously a disappointing result on Tuesday night. The team, we know that we're better than that. Players, everyone individually, we know that we're better than that, and that's not to our normal standards. So it's just important that we sort of focus in the next couple of days in training, get back to the basics, and then we can sort of pick it up again and hopefully, obviously, get a good result on Saturday, and we'll be back on the road where we're heading. So.
We kind of saw it with the cup defeat to Peterborough and the loss to Fleetwood the week before, how well we did bounce back and perform in the league game against Peterborough. So there must be confidence that you can do it again.
Yeah, 100%. There's still faith. Like, I'm still 100% confident that we will bounce back. There's no other option. You know, I believe in the lads. The talent that we have in the dressing room, we're more than capable of bouncing back and sort of pushing forward again. So I've got no doubt that we can do it, and just obviously working towards that now, and hopefully we'll do that on Saturday.
Just take us inside the dressing room a little bit. How much does a result like Tuesday sting you guys?
Yeah, it hurts. Like, for me, it's obviously you can tell I'm a bit down. It's disappointing. It's not how obviously we wanted it to sort of be after having such a good result on last Saturday. To then obviously go on to Tuesday, that just shows you how crazy football is. You know, you're never too high, you're never too low. It's just one moment you could be on top of the world, the next moment you could be back low. So, but yeah, that one hurt the team, hurt everyone, the staff, the gaffer. So there's a lot to obviously prove on Saturday, and hopefully we can sort of do that and bring back smiles on people's faces.
And you're used to playing in front of big kind of fervent support. Up at Sunderland and Norwich, they've got huge supporter bases. Yeah. Over 1,000 were up at Charlton for that game on Tuesday. We've sold out our allocation for Saturday at Forest Green already. So the fan base are there. They're believing. You want to show them that you're keen to hit back.
No, obviously we're all grateful for the fans. The support that they give us. It's really good to see. After the game Tuesday, obviously it hurt as well, the fact that they've travelled, and for us to obviously not put in a performance. That's why the only thing we can do is sort of obviously apologise to them and put it right on Saturday. I'm a fan myself, and I'll be disappointed, and I'll be. The way I feel is obviously I feel for them. Travelling a long journey to come watch us, and for us not to produce is something that I sort of owe them, and it's something that the team owes them, and we're looking to sort of get back on track.
Just finally, to finish on, obviously it is still early in the season. We've only played 4 games. We've got 6 points. Yeah. We've seen the talent out there. How kind of happy are you, take Tuesday aside, with kind of how we've gone so far?
No, I'm very happy. The team is obviously a great set of lads. The staff obviously all brilliant with me. Like I said, the talent and the character that's in that dressing room, and the potential is scary. I'm really excited. Like I said, from day one, really excited to what we can sort of achieve this season, and hopefully with the right mindset, concentration and focus, we can get there.
Barley Mumba there speaking to me earlier on this week. And Brian, just very quickly, how have you, or what have you thought of Barley since he's come in? He's kind of playing out a position on the left rather than the right, so position you know well, but he's put in a couple of fine performances. What have you made of him so far?
Yeah, firstly, you wouldn't think he was playing out of position. I think he's been exceptional. I was reading some of the things and listening to what he said there. He's playing with a lot of freedom, and he gets the ball. He's able to, a manager's giving him the confidence, just go and express yourself, and he's thriving in that environment. And he looks a great signing for us, and real good player. And he's obviously got the penalty for us last weekend with that, and influential in the goal for Azaz in the first game of the season, wasn't he? He was the one that crossed it. So yeah, really good start to his Argyle career, and hopefully he can sort of keep that consistency.
Absolutely right, Brian. Thanks for now. We are just under half an hour away from kickoff here on Argyle TV. Remember, you can get in touch with us. You can comment on the YouTube video where you're watching right now with any of your comments on what you think about the side that Stephen Schumacher has picked today, 5 changes to Tuesday's loss, or on how you think this afternoon will go. You can find us on Twitter at Argyle or Facebook as well. As I said, just under half an hour to go. We'll be recapping the team news again, having a little bit more chat ahead of kickoff, and we'll hear from Ryan Perks as well, the Argyle women's manager. That's all coming up next.
Ball in, good goal, progress into the second division.
You're watching Argyle TV. It's just gone 2:30. It's the build-up to Plymouth Argyle's trip to Forest Green Rovers in Sky Bet League One. Looking to bounce back, of course, from that defeat on Tuesday night to Charlton Athletic. Well, the men have got their season underway. The under-18s and academy also are a game in. We heard from Darren Way before the game against Charlton on Tuesday. And the women kick off their season this weekend. They are away to a newly promoted side in Cheltenham Town, and their manager, Ryan Perks, joins me now. Ryan, nice to chat to you, mate. How much are you looking forward to this new season, eh?
Yeah, really looking forward to it, Charlie. Just be nice to get going and see what the squad can do this season. Can't hear there, Charlie. Sorry, mate.
Anything at all? You got me now?
Yeah, I've got you now.
Oh.
Yeah, got you now.
Technology does wonders, doesn't it? Sometimes we're still getting to grips with it after all these years. How has pre-season gone for you? Obviously, getting new players in, the excitement building up to this first game. How's it all been?
Yeah, the guys have been coming in fantastic shape. Fitness levels are really good. So yeah, been a very positive pre-season. Some difficult fixtures. Lots of new signings coming in as well, and they've bedded into the team really well. We've just dual signed Lily on Thursday evening from Bristol City, so hoping she can add a bit of quality in the final third for us. So yeah, really looking forward to getting going tomorrow.
Just finally, on Cheltenham, newly promoted sides, they'll obviously be keen to get off to a good start and continue that crest that they've been on. How are you expecting that game to go?
Yeah, they're going to be full of confidence. Obviously, they won their league last year, didn't lose many games. They've added 12, 13 new players in the summer. So it's a little bit of an unknown for us, but we've been doing a little bit of research over the last few days on how they played and the style they played last season. So I don't expect much to change in terms of the way they play, but obviously adding a bit of quality. So we just try to focus on ourselves tomorrow and come away with the 3 points.
Top stuff, Ryan. Thanks for joining us. Best of luck tomorrow. Argyle women taking on Cheltenham Town. First game of their brand new season. You can follow it all on social media. That's Argyle WFC. And of course, we will have all the reaction on Argyle TV for you from Ryan and also from the rest of the side to see how they get on. Remember, you can keep getting in touch with us. You can comment on the YouTube video below. You can get in touch on social media as well, at Argyle on Twitter and on Facebook. Whatever way you can, do get in touch with us. And apologies again for the sound issue. I actually don't think it was technical. It was me pressing mute and then not unmuting. So I will admit to that. But that is about it. We're 25 minutes away from kickoff here on Argyle TV, and we'll be running back through the teams again and getting the latest from Nailsworth, hopefully, if Rob can join us in just a moment. Well, Brian and myself are still here, building up to Argyle's trip to Forest Green Rovers in Sky Bet League One. The Greens looking to get back to winning ways, of course. Don't know whether you can hear some squawking going on behind us. It's a tour going on with Pilgrim Peak, just down pitchside at Home Park. Of course, full match commentary to come on Argyle TV very, very soon. Hopefully, we'll be joining Rob McNichol up at Forest Green, just looking at some of the pictures at the moment. The pitch, I can report, does look absolutely fine. So that's the main thing. We will have a game today. The sun is shining, just a few floaty clouds and a pretty pristine looking pitch. Looking at it, Brian, actually, I don't know whether you can see. How on earth was that game postponed on Tuesday? It looks perfect, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It just looks strange. Well, the pitch looks absolutely perfect, and that was suit Argyle. Hopefully it's watered well, so obviously Argyle can get the passing game going. But yeah, maybe just a real heavy deluge of rain at one particular time that caused the game to be called off, but no excuses today.
Well, let's have a little run through the teams again and remind ourselves of who is playing this afternoon. Big talking points obviously being that there's a lot of changes. Brendan Galloway in for his first start in the league since November last season. He comes in on the left-hand side of that back three from Macaulay Gillespie. Of course, James Wilson out suspended. So Nigel Lonvike comes in for him. His first start in the league for Argyle. Danny Mayer returns to the starting lineup, as does Matt Butcher, taking the places of Morgan Whittaker and Jordan Houghton, and then Niall Ennis up front instead of Ryan Hardy, who drops to the bench. Incidentally, Burton, Gillespie, Houghton, Hardy, Whittaker, Jeffcott, and Endicott. We spoke about, Brian, the change up top, but Danny Mayer coming back in again today. Obviously, Morgan Whittaker scored on Tuesday night. Pretty decent goal as well, it has to be said. But Mayer, when he is absolutely on it, 100% fit, he is a guaranteed starter, and he makes things happen.
Yeah, 100%. I do like what the manager's trying to do with Azaz and Mayer high up the pitch, and getting into those pockets. I thought against Peterborough, both of them were really influential. Obviously, they were influential in the goal, weren't they? Mayer down the right hand side, and he had the sort of vision to sort of pick out Azaz, and it wasn't an easy finish, first time finish in that bottom corner. So yeah, for me, Mayer, is one of the best players in this division. I think he runs at people. People are scared of him. We just got to get the ball to him a lot more. And it doesn't matter who he plays with on the left hand side. I think he's that good a player. He gets the best out of his teammates on that left hand side. So yeah, I think he's a real quality player.
Who are you looking at in this game to unlock something, to do something magic and win the game for Argyle? We've obviously seen Azaz do it in the home games here. We've seen Mayer do it in in fits and spurts. Who do you think is going to be the point of difference in this one?
I think it's those two, to be honest. Saying it's Mayer and Azaz. I think they're probably the most sort of gifted players in the sense of getting on the ball, making things happen. I think we look to those to actually take the game to teams. And I think that's one of the things that that obviously Schumacher wants. He wants those two high up the pitch and causing teams problems. I guess at home that's going to work well. Big pitch at Argyle, the crowd behind you, and you've got to take the game to teams. But maybe away from home, they're going to have to maybe then get back into some sort of shape and formation and see how that works. And I guess one of the things that Schumacher will be very mindful of is the sense that we've got good results at home. We don't want to have a third loss away from home, so it's making sure we come away with something today and have that same sort of formation that works away from home as well as at home.
Yeah, I asked Stephen Schumacher that, and it is something that we spoke about on Tuesday night with Ian Stonebridge as well. Is there a big difference? I mean, it sounds stupid me saying this because you're in a completely different stadium. You haven't got your usual home support, different change rooms and everything. But is there a big difference in playing at home and playing away?
Yes, massively. Yeah. You're used to the pitch, you're used to the dimensions. You're in your comfort zone in the sense of what to expect. Going away from home, there's some pitches may not be watered or some pitches may be tight and different dynamics that don't put you at ease. So there's no excuses. These days pitches are fantastic and it's a game of football at the end of the day. I appreciate that, but when you're at home, you have that advantage, especially when you've got confidence. I must say, if you're playing at home and you're having a bad run of form and things aren't going well, sometimes when you're the away team, you can sort of capitalize on that and sort of get a result that way. But I think when you're used to your surroundings and you understand what the crowd's around, then you can use it to your advantage. And for me, obviously the home park crowd are pretty special, and the Argyle fans are fantastic. So, and they've been out in the force already this season, and the away fans, as you said, sold out for today. It's just testament to what it's all about for Argyle.
Before we have a look at the Forest Green side and remind ourselves of that, let's head across to Nailsworth, to the Bolts New Lawn, and see whether we can get through to Rob this time. Hello, Rob. We're trying to do a pitch report, kind of test match special style earlier on. I'm seeing some pictures for that people who can't see and are watching this. It doesn't look waterlogged, does it?
No, it's lovely actually. You wouldn't have a clue. In fact, it might have done it good. It looks a really, really nice surface. I did notice being at pitch side earlier on that there's a little bit of a crown on it. Actually, if you go from one side to another, there's a bit of a rise in the middle. But as far as the pitch goes, no, absolutely sublime. It was a bit strange to arrive here 2 or 3 hours ago. Remembering it was this time last week, it was 33, 34 degrees, drinks breaks. It was about 14 degrees and drizzly here in Gloucestershire when we arrived. But sun's out now and no excuses, I think, today.
Yeah, I've got my coat on as well, and I'm just sat here. It is what a difference a couple of weeks makes. You're right. Just on Argyle, on the fact that the back three's had to change. Nigel Lonvike gets his chance. Brendan Galloway back in. These are big games for those two players, aren't they? You feel?
Most definitely. It is, and I think we're going to get this plenty of times this season where different people in the side are going to get that chance here and there. It always happens because of injuries or suspensions, but this time Stephen Schumacher's decided to make a few more changes than the one enforced one that he was going to have to make with James Wilson's absence. And I guess it's for everybody to stake their claim. And we know that we've talked about this ad nauseum perhaps at this stage of the season, but the 5 sides is still kind of new to us, and I think the gaffer does know, any gaffers are going to know at this stage, where if you change a couple of things from the start and they don't work, you've got a little bit more scope to change it in the first half or at half time or whatever. So it's not quite the risk it was, but I think we've known for 2 or 3 seasons really that our squad there's not a lot of difference between the best player and the 20th best player, and so it's all about finding the balance. Hopefully it's spot on today.
Hopefully it is. Rob, thank you very much. Enjoy the game. You can hear or see, I should say, on Twitter all of Rob's updates at Argyle throughout the afternoon. If you can't listen or watch the game this afternoon, let's just have a little quick run through of the Forest Green side then as well. Here we go. So they've made one change, Ian Birchnell, and it's in midfield with David Davis, experienced central midfielder, coming in for Armani Little, who has been impressive since arriving from Torquay in the summer. Now, of course, as always, on a Saturday afternoon, if you're watching this one and you are living outside the UK, you can watch this game on Argyle TV for £10. If you are living inside the UK, it's audio commentary. Brian and myself will be taking you through all the action from the new lawn, the Bolt new lawn, which is kickoff is 15 minutes or so away. All of the streaming options are available on our website. Just go to Argyle, the Argyle TV tab, click on the streaming passes, find which one you are eligible for, and you can click and go through, watch or listen to the game from there. Commentary of this second away game in a week up at the new lawn is coming up next.
What a difference a year makes. Before I signed here, I thought I had an idea, but the reality has been something else. On the field, off the field, on our day, this club is a match for anyone. Limbs at the bridge.
First ball, watch for Jeff Cott to be on the end of a second. Oh, it's 1-0! Chelsea are behind to lead 1 Plymouth. Macaulay Gillespie, the big centre-back, glancing it in.
Unforgettable.
It's in my blood, it's a massive part of me, all my life. Nothing makes me prouder than the academy lads coming through. And we're only getting started.
Argyle has given me everything.
It's my hometown club.
What a feeling when the fans chant your name. We roll with the punches.
We take pride in the shirt.
We prove people wrong.
Next up in 23rd spot is Plymouth Argyle.
We take risks. We leave it all out there.
We are Argyle.